sixth episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the third week of August 2011. This episode is titled Pats for Google. CloudFocus Weekly is sponsored by Arkus, your cloud computing experts. And I'm your host, Jason Atwood. Joining me today, the most excited man for Dreamforce 2011, co-host and speaker, Justin Edelstein. How are you doing?
I'm so excited. I started a new hashtag on Twitter yesterday
Which
called
was?
Salesforce Dorks.
I started that.
No, you spelled it wrong.
I spelled it wrong.
You did Salesforce Dorks.
I was so fast to tweet that I spelled it wrong.
Well, you were only doing it because I was on the phone training one of our clients.
Yep.
And they were like, oh, this, that, and the other. I was like, about Chatter and how to use it. And I was like, well, you got to sort of just start using it and you'll figure out how to use it. We at Arkus, we didn't really figure out the right, air quote, right way to use it for a couple months. And we're Salesforce Dorks, and you just ran with it.
Yes. Does someone have the Twitter account Salesforce Dorks?
I don't know. Maybe they do now.
If so, we should get that immediately. Put that in your OmniFocus. All right, we got an agenda today. We have some Google news. Lots
of Google on our agenda on the Google Wave.
That's true. It's too early. Too early. We have some news about Android, Seesmic, and Salesforce all coming together. And then, of course, at the end, we have lots of Dreamforce news. I will start off the Dreamforce news by saying not next week, but maybe the week after. Can't tell which week, but one of the 2 weeks we're going to do an entire Dreamforce 11 predictions show.
Yep.
So that will be coming up. But let's kick it off with...
Well, you also stay tuned. Don't tune out now.
Don't tune out now.
Because the secret word is a-coming.
The secret word's going to be in this episode, next episode, and if there is a third episode.
It's a-coming.
Are we going to do one right before Dreamforce on that Monday?
No, I say there's... No, 2 words. Oh, are we going to do a pod?
Yes.
I don't know. Should we do one Monday or should we do them when we get there on Tuesday?
We are going to have no time to do that on Tuesday.
I want to do one from the booth.
Yeah, that will not be Tuesday. Well,
as we're setting up the booth, just open the mic and just... You'll hear what we're doing.
Booth 30, by the way. Just want to say that. Okay. So let's talk about Google. Google made big splash in the world. Big splash.
They did.
Don't know really. This isn't really cloud news, except for the entire company is sort of a cloud computing company. But Google acquired Motorola's their
mobility unit.
Yeah, the one who makes their hardware.
Motorola Mobility.
Yep.
For $12.5 billion. I learned about this on the Captivate in the elevator in our office building. I love that little thing. You learn about a lot of little quick facts with the Captivate network.
It just moves too fast. And then you're like, wait,
well, that's the thing. I wish I was on the 180th floor, if there was one. So I could just read the Captivate a little more in the morning. Yeah.
You don't have enough information flowing into your life that you need to have that? Is Google Reader not enough?
Anyway, so Google announced on Monday of this week that they're acquiring Motorola Mobility for $12.5 billion. Motorola is one of the main manufacturers of the Google Android operating system devices. Yes. I think there's 39 manufacturers of handsets that run Android on it. Motorola is probably in the top 3, I would say.
So there are different... Now, I will say, as someone who doesn't pay a lot of attention to the Droid market or the Android market, I know that they have different names. Like, there's the Extreme, there's the Weather, there's the Storm, there's the Outdoors.
2 things.
But then there's they call them droids. Now, does droid mean everything that's Android?
No, that's the thing. Droid is actually what Motorola phones on the Verizon network are. They call them the Droid.
Droid.
Yeah, right, okay. That's because it's an open source operating system. So they took it and said, we're going to just call this version of the OS Droid.
Right.
Others call them Android phones. Others call them Google phones. Others just call them phones. They're phones. They're smartphones, and they come with stuff that you can do on them.
Right.
And if you're savvy enough, you know it's Android. If not, and you don't care, you know that it's got stuff on it.
And you don't care. Right.
And you don't care. What I find interesting about this, and what I can't figure out, is...
Wait, that's quite a sentence. It's what you find interesting, but you can't figure out.
Well, it's an interesting question to ponder, and maybe you've read more about this than I have and know the information.
Chances unlikely.
Remember back in the day when we worked at that very large financial services institution that shall never be named.
Not even named in your blog post this week.
And it wasn't. And we were working on some mobile projects, and we were rolling out support for Palm phones. Yes, folks, Palms. Yes. Treos.
The Trios.
And part of rolling out a Treo was to roll out the secure infrastructure to handle the email and the communication, and that was Good.
Yes.
And Good was purchased by Motorola.
Well, I know what you're saying because you're saying Good.
Sorry,
that was Good.
The service was the product itself was called Good.
It was like Good Technologies or something.
Yeah. Whether it was good or not, up for debate. But it was called Good.
Listen, if you name your company Good, you can't be bad.
Can't be bad. You can't be great either.
It's like you can't be great. We're never going to be great because we're always good. It's a joke I make about. Well, we make about a certain. We're not even going to mention it, but there's a scripting language written for integrator product that we've learned, and it had a very tough name, like an acronym, and then they're renaming it now EasyScript, and so it went from this like 4-letter acronym to EasyScript. I said, well, it's got to be easier because it's called
way easier. It's called EasyScript.
You just look at it and it's easier.
Anyway, out of the rat hole we come.
Yep.
And the thing I'm pondering is, does Google acquire Good along with this acquisition, and does that help them penetrate the enterprise marketplace?
That is actually a really interesting question. I had forgotten that Motorola had bought Good.
Remember back, and they were in the process of buying them as we were sort of working on this project. Right. It sort of gave them a little backbone. It was like, hey, look, we're Motorola now.
Yeah.
It was, that's kind of a good thing for Good. And it's kind of getting funny.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if part of this, and I can't find it anywhere, someone who's listening, tweet me or let me know if Good is part of this purchase, and if so, I think that that's an interesting strategic move for Google, not only to go more towards the Apple model of owning the whole experience, meaning the hardware and the software that's running on the phone, which is why we love our iPhones and our iPads, great experience,
right?
Because they control everything. In some cases, people don't like that. But also, with this Good software, being able to penetrate the always coveted enterprise market and say, hey, Android is a valid option for the enterprise, and you can roll out these Android phones to people and have that Good messaging infrastructure on the back end, much like a BlackBerry that has that RIM messaging structure on the back end. So just a very interesting thing to ponder, wonder, research, which I haven't been able to find. Maybe you're looking for it now. I see you staring at your computer screen.
I'm not. I am paying extreme attention to you and also paying attention to the article. No, I wasn't looking at that. What I was looking for was the other side of the story, which is that weeks ago, Apple, Microsoft, and Research in Motion bought 6,000 Nortel patents. So they bought patents from Nortel for like $4.5 billion. They're splitting them up. I don't know. Can you imagine? We've worked in big companies, bigger than those three. And can you imagine what it would take in legalese to write a document to say out of 6,000 documents, 6,000 patents, which ones each company got? Especially when you're talking about Apple, Microsoft, and Research in Motion. Basically, three companies that are the most competitive. Apple, Microsoft, hugely competitive.
Yeah.
Research in Motion, hugely. I mean, anyway, makers of the BlackBerry. So, what I think is interesting about this, and clearly then we'll move on, is that a lot of people are saying this is Google's like oh crud. This is not an explicit podcast. So crud, we need to get into this patent game. So they bought it for the patents. They spent 12.5 versus 4.5. The funniest quote I think was from some Apple high exec saying, that's a lot, or that's a lot of money, or that's like that was a lot, meaning we think they overspent. Google has a lot of money. Fine. If they want to buy 12.5
Google
billion.
prints money off the internet.
They do print money. If it's patents, it's what you just look at these and go, okay, that's kind of interesting. It's not going away with Motorola, the whole company. It's just their mobility unit. I feel like there's a big story. It's a bigger story, sort of not cloud news, but about the U.S. economy. And a lot of companies are just holding back and not spending money. They're just putting into cash reserves. And so as we get out of this recession or the double dip or the triple dip or whatever, this slow
sounds
rebirth,
like a dessert.
It does. It's not very tasty.
Sounds yummy.
I think there's going to be a lot of this stuff happen because these companies have just kept all their cash for very, very long. So anyway, that's the Google. Again, I'm not. What does it mean immediately? Don't know. I think for Google, it gives them a play. It gives them patents, and it gives them a maker of these units that they can then, brand and control themselves.
Yeah, I don't think the ones that they've rolled out under the Google phone, they did one, and then they did like a ×2, like a second one. Version 2, they didn't do very well.
They didn't do very well. But this is also a market that I would immediately ask, are you sure you want to be in this market? Like, do you want to be in making hardware? It's not easy. Making software is difficult, and I think Google's good at making software, not great. This is a different market completely, and I'm not sure, you have to have some really great talent to be able to do it. So, moving on, speaking of Android, this is actually big news. It hit up on on our agenda more than I saw it on the news sources, which is that why don't you lead us into it?
Sure. So Seesmic, makers of Seesmic Desktop, which has been a pick of mine in the past,
yes, it has,
and has integrated Chatter into their social applications.
It's been a pick of mine because I picked the iPhone version because it actually works with multiple Chatter accounts.
Right. So we both picked Seesmic applications.
Yep.
And
longtime friend of Salesforce.
Longtime friend of Salesforce for at least 1.5 or 2 years since they rolled out Chatter. They said, hey, and there's Seesmic, where you can have your Twitter and your Facebook and your Chatter all in one place. Well, Seesmic has taken it upon themselves to use some of the newer Force.com platform APIs to build out a native Android CRM for Salesforce application.
Much missing from the marketplace.
There is no Salesforce application for the Android, only Chatter. Only the Chatter, which we've talked about many times. Why splinter your apps? Why take Chatter and put it in one place and take the rest of everything else and put it in another place? And in that rest of everything else, meaning leads, opportunities, accounts, contacts, the salesy stuff, no Chatter. And in the Chatter place, you can see the stuff, but you can't search for a lead and find it. It's got to be Chatter. Someone has to put it in your feed.
I get splintering them. I get spinning the two different apps, especially if you're doing Chatter free, because you don't want to tell the people of Chatter free download Salesforce Mobile and it has Chatter in there and everything else doesn't work.
Let me rephrase.
But
I get the rephrase. I get the splinter. Right. And that splinter, harsh word. I get the two apps. What I don't get is taking Chatter out of the main one. I feel like it's just missing in there. Well, anyway, Seesmic wrote this application, native app for Android, and it's sort of the best of both worlds because it has both. You can search for records, you can search for lead, you can enter a new lead, you can edit a lead, opportunity, whatever, and you can get to your Chatter. So you can get to your accounts, your contacts, your opportunities, your leads, edit data, enter new data, log calls, etc. And you can get to your Chatter all in one app. And it's made by Seesmic, not by Salesforce. When we get to our predictions show
next week, or the week following, probably next week,
I will have some predictions surrounding this type of application.
Right. Well, you should. This is interesting. The side thing says, and coming to iPad. I mean, sorry, but I don't have an Android. It doesn't really interest me. I have a great app. I have a good app, actually. I have an app that has not been updated in a very long time for Salesforce Mobile, which I use, and I use it when I'm out because it can do the certain things. I talk about it with all my clients. I train on it, and that's what you were talking about. Someone asked, can you get it for Android? And you said, not this, but then you even said, in Dreamforce, coming soon, pay attention. Interesting. I just wonder, because Seesmic and Salesforce have seemed to work together before on doing stuff, obviously with the Chatter before, and they've announced it, it makes me wonder, is this something that Salesforce is going to kind of say, listen, you guys go do that. We're not going to get in that game.
Yes. So that's part of my predictions.
Okay.
So you just alluded to one of them.
Right. Okay. Well, then we won't make any more. We'll move on.
let's move on.
What
else is in the wave?
With some Dreamforce stuff.
Dreamforce.
Tons and tons. We're going to do that first thing last. But tons and tons of Dreamforce 11 news. But I'm going to start off with the best of all Dreamforce news.
Okay.
Dreamforce 11 news. What's better than Dreamforce 11?
Dreamforce 12.
Yeah, so it came out today, because maybe I'm bringing out that Dreamforce 12 is next September, so the September after. So it's more than, while we had December to August, we now have more than a year of no Dreamforce. Well,
technically, this Dreamforce is in September.
It starts, does it start in?
It starts on the 30th. Yeah. And then it goes right into September.
So next year's is like the 18th to the 21st. Don't book your tickets, don't whatever. But that's when the rumors are that it'll be next year.
Gotcha.
It's a Tuesday to a Friday, so back to that, which I think they're doing. They're doing this year as well. Sometimes they've messed with going like Sunday to Wednesday.
I like being there on a Sunday. Well, it never starts on a Sunday. It starts on a Monday.
Starts on a Monday, but it means you have to be there. They had the gala on Sunday night.
I like being there for the Sunday.
I don't because of
camping
football,
out and watching football at Dreamforce.
No, that was fun.
Enjoy that.
Yeah, well, next year it will be a Tuesday to a Friday, same thing. So that's first bit of news. Second bit of news is that the new Dreamforce app, will be arriving on the 26th.
Can't wait.
Of August. I think that's
kind of wish I had it now.
And there will be both an iPad, Android, iPhone, Android, and iPad version. So there will be a full...
So the iPhone, iPad, it's not going to be universal. I'm going to have to download two things.
I don't know. I saw the screenshots of it. It looked interesting. But
last year's looked interesting. It didn't work very well.
It didn't work very well. This one, I think they're building from the ground up. I don't know if they hired the same... I think last year they basically white labeled something. Because it was really... It felt like someone... I mean, I knew someone else built it. But it just didn't feel like anything else they've ever built. I feel like the reason we haven't seen iPad Chatter and we haven't seen any updates to Salesforce Mobile, and we know that there's not a lot of developers working on it, hopefully there's more now, is that they're putting all their time into this. And the other announcements that we might be predicting next week. So that's interesting. And you have a bit of news. What's the other little bit of news before we get on to the last piece, the last and best piece?
I was going to talk about my blog.
Oh, that's it. There you go. Talk about the blog.
Well, we had two more things on our agenda, but I'll talk about my blog first.
Sure.
I just put it out today. It's called Perspectives on Attending Dreamforce.
Nice.
And it's all about how I've now been to... This will be my fourth straight Dreamforce.
It's like a diary entry. Dear Diary.
This is my fourth Dreamforce. And like I said, that puts me in like semi-veteran status.
Sure.
Maybe not total veteran, but semi-veteran.
I always have one more than you.
That's true, and that's your fault. And I will never let you down.
You'll never let me down that I didn't get you invited to that.
That's right. So I talk about how I've gone, again, for the last 3 years, and this will be my fourth. And this is actually the first time that I'm going to Dreamforce where I'm actually working for the same company that I worked for at the previous Dreamforce. So my first three Dreamforce experiences were all very different. My first one, I was working at that large financial services institution that continues to remain nameless.
I remember it. I have
and we rolled with the big boys. We got to play with big boy toys.
Yes.
And
get taken out to dinner.
Meet at the office, see the roadmap, all that fun stuff.
The roadmap is, I know you mentioned in your
it's something I miss very dearly.
The roadmap was really nice.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's giving away anything, but
let's just say not giving away anything. If you
purchase
a lot of licenses, like over a bunch of thousands, and you ask politely, or you might not even have to ask, they will show you the glimpses into the roadmap with a safe harbor attached to it.
Like 5 or 6.
Yeah, like a lot. Because you'll see things that aren't ready for 2 years. Stuff
and
like
they've gotten in trouble, Salesforce has gotten into, thus the safe harbor, but they've gotten in trouble showing stuff to those large institutions that large institution then said, great, I want that. And then they turned around, Salesforce turned around and said, I'm not doing it. Like, we decided not to do it. And thusly they had to go and make nice and build it for them anyway.
So that was my first experience. The second experience was a year later. Obviously, I went as part of a not-for-profit. Mm-hmm. So I got to see Dreamforce from the foundation aspect, which is very cool. You actually feel more embraced than I thought I was going to feel. It had a really nice community feel to it. It's always nice to stand up at that point in the keynote when Mark Benioff says, everyone who's here from a nonprofit, stand up, and everyone else clap for them. Just feels great. And then
I was clapping for you.
Thank you. Yeah. And then last year, obviously, I went as a founding member of Arkus, and we had virtually just started Arkus at that point. We'd been around for a little while. We had some clients. There, and it was very interesting to be a partner and not have an expo presence,
right?
Because everyone's like, "Oh, where's your booth so we can meet up?" And it's like, "Oh, my booth's at the corner table in the expo floor." And then this year, obviously, going as Arkus and having an expo booth, booth number 30, and it's going to be another interesting experience. So all these different experiences, same conference, great times all around. It's amazing that the conference can bring such a diverse group of people together, and everyone has a great experience regardless of sort of where they are in terms of I don't want to say social status, but in terms of large institution, nonprofit, partner, this, that, the other.
And we've actually, out of last year, we met, and I think it was interesting because we weren't exhibitors.
Nope.
We were just there, and we were there as partners where you have a different badge. It'll be interesting to be there now. This, for me, is an extremely new experience. I was with a startup a long time ago, like eons ago, and we did a booth at a conference right here in New York in like the Marriott or something, and I got to run the booth with some other guys. Startups. It was like everybody was there, and I remember it being like very difficult. So we'll see now. It's funny thing is I know this conference very, very well, but I haven't run a booth and I haven't done that in such a long time that it'll be interesting. And it's a totally different experience for me because I went with that big company twice or three times.
You went there three times
with that big company, and then I went with Arkus, and now I'm going with Arkus as the sponsor. And I'm looking forward to this because it is going to change the way we're kind of dealing with it. I also like just having the place to go to the booth. You can always, not even for clients or prospects or whatever, and all the people are waiting for the word because they've been tweeting.
They have to go to the booth.
They're going to have to go to the booth. But also just to be like, that's where you're going to meet. Like, meet at the booth. It's a very expensive meeting spot.
Yes.
We could have
we could have gotten like a cubicle in an office building next door
and just said meet there.
Meet there. I've also
paid a cab driver to sit outside in the same place. But also this year, I just got off. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say I didn't even mention this in my blog post, but I'm also speaking again this year.
Right.
This will be my third time speaking, and I've spoken when I worked at the large institution.
Right.
You could probably find my presentations if you really wanted to, and see what this large institution was.
True.
I spoke as part of a nonprofit. Now I'm speaking as a partner. So even that is very different.
Yeah, I spoke twice as well, but I've never spoke. I mean, I think it's great. It'll be great to see. You should tell about when's your session again? What's it called?
Oh, my session is I Heart Permission Sets, Profiles 2.0, or Look at Profiles 2.0. It's on Friday. The time.
It's like 10 a.m. I think.
It's I have the Dreamforce app open right now.
I'll let you find it while I talk about one of the things.
It's a deep dive into Profiles 2.0. It's it doesn't even say it on the actual listing. That's a shame. I have to go into the agenda.
What's funny is that people can follow sessions now in the Dreamforce portal.
Yeah, you can follow this session, and this
it has
session
how many?
Has 700 and I just followed it. 70 people. But I don't know if that integrates with like the people who've registered for the session.
I think when you register, you automatically follow it.
Yeah.
But you can't have 700 people in that session.
770 people.
But there's no even spaces that hold 700.
They're putting us in the big room.
Yeah. So it's interesting this year, and this I just got off one of the partner talks about this stuff. Is that this is going to be a different Dreamforce. So for us who've been before, we're all going to be like, oh, this is the same thing. No, this is hugely broken out. They're going to cordon off the whole street. They're going to throw a block party like in the middle of the place. They're taking over the whole street. They are they're putting up a beer garden like up thing. It's going to be massive. They're taking over outdoor space because it's so big.
And the non-for-profits are in a different building.
Totally
they're in the Marriott.
So they have taken over 2 hotels, the entire open space, the other Moscone West or whatever it is. So it's going to be just massive. I would say, get your walking shoes on because you're going to be going.
That's
all
not
over
good
the place.
because my feet are no good. We're going to have a stool at our booth just for me.
I hope so.
Or a pocket chair or something.
You got to bring a pocket chair. All right, so one other little mention.
A little mention, why not? We'll mention the Road to DF crew. They're all over the place.
Too funny.
They're just everywhere. Started by Tom Wong, the former VP of Dreamforce, now starting up his own thing called Evently. Shout out to Evently.
Shout out.
And Tom actually called me and asked me if I wanted to be a part of the Road to Dreamforce, and I said...
He must have lost my number.
He must have. I said, I would love that, but I'm in New York and I don't want to start in Chicago.
So what is it?
So I was about to get to it. I don't want to start in Chicago and get in an RV and start driving across the country to Dreamforce. But this is his way of sort of kicking off Dreamforce. So there's going to be an epic journey from Chicago all the way through, picking up people along the way. Some fellow Salesforce MVPs, some community superstars. You can see who's on there at the website road2df.com and follow the RV. You can ask them questions and tweet them. And I know the Twitter's been out there at road2df.
Yep.
Pretty neat. Cool stuff.
Yep. Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. Good luck getting there in one piece.
They're already on the road, right? Are they going yet? When's it starting?
I don't know. I gotta
be honest. Interesting. I love the concept. Maybe next year we'll go Road to DF. Talk about Salesforce dorks. That's
hardcore.
That's hardcore.
That really is
much
hardcore.
love, but Salesforce dorks. All right. Well, we got one last Dreamforce thing, which is the Arkus T-shirt contest.
Let's give them the word.
So for those who, I'm going to go from the top to bottom. So this is a contest we've run twice now. This is our second year. Basically came about because we thought of a funny idea for a T-shirt, which was to put our logo on the front, but on the back we put like the safe harbor slide. But of course we don't want to get in any trouble, so we did lorem ipsum and then put some little Easter eggs around it. And this year we've even taken up the whole Dreamforce 11 thing just because we don't want to have anybody get mad at us. So we've done that, and it was a funny T-shirt, and people really kind of went, "Hey, I'd like one. So we said, let's make a little contest." So the contest is you have to do it's kind of a little bit of a social scavenger hunt, but not too difficult. You could probably do all of it in about 3 minutes. You need to join the group inside of the Dreamforce portal. So it's the Arkus T-shirt contest. You search for Arkus or T-shirt or contest, you'll show it. Just
there
join
are now
it.
52 members of the group.
52 people in there. So you have to join that. Then you have to go onto your social networking side and either follow us on Facebook, which if you go to blog.arkusinc.com, or it's actually all the links are in there. So and the instructions are in there too. Or follow us on Twitter, either or. If you don't have one of those because you're not social but still a lovely person, you can go and follow us in the exhibitor of the Cloud Expo inside the Dreamforce portal, because you can follow companies and whatever. So do that. And then either in Chatter, inside of the thing, or on Twitter, or on Facebook, or Twitter or Facebook, I guess are the ones where you use hashtags, you need to use the Safe Harbor T-shirt, one word, hashtag. And if you do that, we're trying to get that trending, and you come to the booth with the magic word, which we're just about to say, or one of the 3 magic words, then we will give you a T-shirt. First come, first serve. Sizes might vary by first come. Might be a lot of big people, small people, we don't know. So if you come early, come often.
Do we have extras like from last year?
We have some extras. So if we run out of this year's run, we have a few extras from last year. So hopefully everybody will get a T-shirt. If we don't, depending on the demand and if everybody's very, very nice, we'll see what we can do. So that's at booth 30 in the expo. That's where you'll have to go. You have to meet
Come
the
on,
person.
What's the secret word?
The secret word is
Come on,
Dodge.
Like
Secret
the car.
word is Dodge. That's the first one. There will be 3. You only need to know one. That's it.
There'll be 3
There's
different
gonna be 3.
ones?
Yeah, you know why?
Don't be tweeting that word.
Yeah, you tweet the
We
word.
will find you.
We will find you. Anyway, that's the secret word. Hope to see you there. Again, stop by, have a chit chat. We love to meet people who listen to the podcast. Longtime fan.
Maybe we'll have the blue snowball out.
We might have the snowball there. We've talked about being there. You might have to meet one of us at one time, or the unknown person, or the other unknown person. You can ask us about the company. We can actually tell you because it won't be a public podcast. All right, let's go. CloudFocus app pick of the week. I love your pick because
wow, we are way behind schedule today, aren't we?
Let's do it. Go for your CloudFocus app pick of the week. And
why do you love my my CloudFocus app pick of the week?
I'm going to tell you after you pick it.
Why? Tell me now.
No, pick it first.
Sketch. Tell me.
No, go ahead. Tell me what it is.
For the last couple of months, when we post our blog posts, we all do them individually. And you have been bugging me because sometimes the images that I put up there are not squares. They have to be squares. They have to be like
it's hip to be square.
500 by 500 or 400 by 4. It's got to be a square, so it looks right in the list view that the CMS sort of puts out.
Yes.
And I don't have software. I don't have Photoshop. I don't have something on my machine that allows me to very easily make something a square.
Yes, you do, but that's
whatever.
That's
not something I know how to use.
Preview. You have it.
I can never really figure it out.
Crop,
I don't want to crop out part of the image. Whatever.
Shift, hold down, crop.
Stop it.
All right.
Anyway, Sketch, very cool little inexpensive Mac app for lightweight editing of images, publishing to the web, sharing with the web. What are you smiling about?
I'm smiling. I love this pick.
Why do you love this
pick?
Keep
going.
No, because you're going to hit me with something over the head in a minute, and I'm not going to be happy.
Talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
No,
Sketch, find it.
No, who makes it?
Sketch.
This is made by Sketch?
Yeah.
And how much is it?
It's $19.99 on the Mac App Store.
And, okay, great. It got bought today.
No!
By Evernote.
My pick got bought by Evernote. And
see
how great that pick is?
And they're going to make it free.
Oh, I just bought it a week ago.
Great pick, baby.
You know how great that is, though? That means I'm picking good stuff. No, Sketch is a great product. I guess wait till it's free because Evernote's going to buy it or has bought it. But it allows you to do some really great things with photos and sharing and sending it up to the web and creating albums up on the web. Not like Flickr albums, but different types of albums for photos and images, commenting, sharing out to Twitter, Facebook, connecting, social, private, public, etc. So pretty neat little lightweight editor for photos, but purchased by Evernote.
Get Evernote because it's going to be part of Evernote, which we've already made.
That's good because Evernote could use something like that.
Evernote,
so that's great.
It's a great thing. You picked it, and then I was reading my reader, and it came up, and I was like, because you picked it early.
I picked it a couple days ago. Yeah, because I got it to handle this week's blog post image.
Ah, nice.
Will they refund me my $20? I just bought it.
I doubt it, but at least you know it'll survive. It has been around a long time, and it is one of those that this is like the 2 weeks in a row you've made a Merlin pick.
Well, me and Merlin think alike.
Yeah, not really, but yes. All right, so good pick. So Sketch by soon to be Evernote.
So
go to Evernote and get an Evernote account. It's worth it. Side note, I just switched my wife over from, she was keeping all her notes. She keeps like tons of notes on the system. She used to keep them in Palm, and then they ended up in some weird note app that no longer works and started to delete them by mistake or whatever. And I went to look. She's like, notes are being deleted. And I said, do they sync with your iPhone? And then she's like, no. I said, oh, let's go find out where they are. And they were in just some really old app that should not exist. I could not export them. I couldn't do anything. So I set her up with an Evernote account. I said, you're gonna have to do a cut and copy paste, for all your notes. There's like 60 of them. And so I set up with Evernote, showed it on the iPad, showed it on the iPhone, and she was like, this is great.
That's funny that you said that. My father recently moved to a Mac from his PC, and his big thing was he had all these things in his Outlook. And he had all these notes in his Outlook. Yep. And then he got an iPhone. So he's like, how do I get all these notes that I have on my Outlook on my phone? And I was like, oh, Evernote. And he's like, oh, but I want them in my Outlook. I'm like, why? You don't need to be in your Outlook. They need to be somewhere where there are notes. Outlook, you can use Freemail. And I told him you shouldn't even. But he doesn't care. He wants to use Outlook.
Right.
There's a very easy way to get your notes from Outlook into Evernote, and then he was really pleased with the web, the app, the Mac app, and the iPhone. He was just like, "Oh, how did I not have?" Yeah, I showed him
image OCR.
I showed him everything.
Oof.
He was like, "How did I not use Evernote before? This is fantastic." So
that is not my pick.
Evernote's a great pick. With Sketch, it could be even better.
It could be even better. That's a great little piece of news. That's why I laughed when I saw it, and I was like, I was gonna make it a news. So here's a news announcement that actually is gonna be my pick.
Go on.
So we've talked a lot in the past about Kindle and iBooks and cloud reading, and recently there's been a little bit of a hubbub because Apple's terms of services have said that you may not do any in-app purchases or links to stores that basically go around Apple's in-app purchase software. So if you own an iPhone or iPad, you know that you have to order. You can buy things with inside. It works great, right? You want to buy coins or things for games, or if you want to blow up more zombies. Yeah,
Angry Birds, Eagle, or whatever.
So it's an in-app purchase. Now, great because it uses your iTunes account. It's single-sign-in. It takes 2 seconds. It's very good. It's great for the developers. But Apple does take a cut. So big guys like Amazon, they don't want Apple to take 30% of the cost of one of their Kindle books. So they've never built it inside the app. They've always linked to it, and even Sony, and I think there's another one, all the big ones, they always link to it outside the app. So go to the store, and then it pops you to a web browser, and then you can buy from the web browser. So anyway, so it's been a bit of a fight, and there was a deadline of a week ago when every app had to have it removed, or they would shut down the app. So for all us Kindle users, Kindle on the iPhone, Kindle on the iPad, it syncs, it's great. We were worried, and then the update came out. So, and it was removed those links, because there used to be a link to go to the store. So now you no longer can do that. You have to go to the web, and you can send it to the iPhone. It really works pretty well anyway, but there's no direct link. Anywho, so I think this is a little bit of Amazon saying, oh yeah, you want to see something? So Amazon's created something called their Cloud Reader, which is an HTML5 version of their Kindle app. So you can read through any browser that can support HTML5. That includes the iPad, iPhone, Safari, Chrome, Firefox. And it basically says, fine, not only do we not need to have an app, we can just do it through a browser, and you can't stop the browser. So it's called Cloud Reader. It's actually at read.amazon.com. You can go from page to page. It has all the features. You can highlight stuff.
You can do this on your computer.
You don't need to
do this on a mobile.
Yep. Nope. You can do it on your. So I'm actually, I have it up in Safari right now. I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at The Thank You Economy by Gary Vaynerchuk, who will be speaking at Dreamforce 11. And you can go from page to page, and it shows you where you are. And I don't know if it has all the Safari swiping and stuff, but it'll sync up. So if you start reading it on one device, it'll sync to where it is. And basically, it's a HTML version of their Kindle app. Great. Because that kind of gets them away from having to do very much, right? You still have to log in. It also works on the iPad. Here's why it's a good pick. For those of you who have Kindles, or not Kindle, you have a Kindle and someone else has an iPad, and you want to share the book. Well, before, to share the book, you couldn't. It's very difficult. You have to do a 15-day whatever. Well, now I have my Kindle app on my iPad, and I can just log into my wife's account and read her books. I don't have to then go do all this sharing stuff. Now, of course, you have to share your username and password to Amazon, which for some people could be scary. But I think it's a nice little alternative, so I can actually go read one of the books.
You're actually promoting sharing passwords?
For a Kindle book. It's
for wives and husbands, maybe.
It is one of the things. We talked about it last week with the Apple TV, right? It's it's one of those things that all this DRMing of content is becoming tiresome, that the basic concepts of ownership are no longer captured with DRM. I own a book that I have right here. I can take that book and give it to you, and you can read it and then give it back to me. Nothing in DRM allows us to do that. And so it takes away from, I think it's the last stepping stone. When someone figures it out, it will be great. So anyway, read.amazon.com is their Cloud Reader. I think it's cool. It's a nice little, it's not really a purchase. It's free. You have to buy the books. And it works.
Cool.
So give it a shot. It'll even put a little icon on your thing. It'll actually kick offline too. It does use HTML5 offline view, so it's very cool.
Sounds like they don't even need an app.
Well, there are some things you can do in the app. funny, side story, I went back to the app and started playing with it again, the Kindle app, and noticed that it had these new social links in it. And so you could sign into your Twitter and sign into your Facebook, and right from within Twitter, right from in Kindle, I picked a quote, hit share on Twitter, it tweets it for you.
That's cool.
And then there's a link back to the book, and puts Kindle and iPad as hashtags, and it links to something that when you click it, it opens up the exact quote online. Because how else would you read it, right? So I did a Mark Benioff quote from his book. But
you're so cool.
I think that's fun. Like, you see a great quote, let me just tweet it right now.
So true.
Anyway, so that's the CloudFocus app Piglix. We have Skitch now / Evernote, and the Amazon Cloud Reader. Alrighty, if you want to read the blog post and any upcoming blog posts, or there'll be another for another 2 weeks, you got blog.arkusinc.com. You can subscribe by RSS.
We're going to do a lot of Dreamforce blogging.
Yeah,
pretty much
2 weeks.
It's all
going
to be Dreamforce.
Yeah, for this basically last 3 weeks, it'll all be Dreamforce. Arkus Inc., twitter.com/Arkus Inc., twitter.com/JasonMatwood me, twitter.com/Just Edelstein. He doesn't need any more followers. And
I love followers.
Facebook.com/Arkus Inc. And of course, you want to subscribe to the podcast, which I've been noticing the numbers going up in the subscribers, which is nice.
That is nice.
In iTunes, leave a review there. We love it. And other than that, we'll see you at Dreamforce. Until then, until next week, we'll come back and talk about Dreamforce again. Enjoy those cloudy days.